Listen closely to what I'm about to tell you now. Imagine your heart is a medieval fortress, one of those impenetrable ones with massive stone walls and watchtowers. Now answer me this. How many times have you left the main gate wide open for any invader to enter and plunder everything you've built? Well, today you're going to learn how to build defenses that few men on this planet master. You are about to discover a system of emotional armor so powerful that it will literally transform you into an unshakable man in relationships. And no, I'm not talking about turning into a robot without feelings. I'm talking about something much more valuable and ultra-rare. Do you know what your problem is right now? You live hostage to another person's emotions. When she's doing well, you're doing well. When she disappears for 2 hours, you panic. When she doesn't respond immediately, your chest tightens and anxiety takes over. You've become an emotional satellite, revolving around someone who might not even deserve half that energy. And the worst part? You know it. You feel it right now as you listen to me. That feeling that you've lost control of your own life. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. There's a brutal difference between the man who suffers over a woman and the man who has built his emotional armor. The first lives in an eternal internal battlefield. The second walks through life like a warrior who has already won the most important war, the war against himself. I spent 15 years studying male behavioral patterns, analyzing hundreds of cases of emotionally destroyed men. And I discovered something almost no one notices. Male romantic suffering always follows the same predictable script. Do you want to know what that script is? First, you get too attached too quickly. Then, you surrender all your emotional power. Next, you become a beggar for attention. And finally, when everything crumbles, you're left sitting in the dark of your room, clutching your phone as if it were your last hope of salvation. Wake up, man. That's not love. That's chemical dependency disguised as romance. Your brain is addicted to cheap dopamine, to those peaks of pleasure when she gives you attention, followed by deep valleys of suffering when she disappears. Now I'm going to give you 5 emotional shielding techniques that will completely change your reality in relationships. Each one has been tested and refined over years. These are strategies that real men silently apply while others continue to suffer. First technique, build your iron identity. You need to understand one fundamental thing right now. Your identity cannot be anchored in another person. Never. Under no circumstances. You are a complete man on your own. Do you know why you suffer so much when she ignores you? Because you allowed your self-esteem to depend on her validation. Every unanswered message is interpreted by your brain as rejection. Every delay is processed as abandonment. Remember, you existed before she arrived. You had your own dreams, goals, passions. Where did all that go? You threw away your masculine essence in exchange for crumbs of female attention. Starting today, you will rebuild your identity from scratch. You will rediscover who you are when no one is looking. You will strengthen your convictions, your values, your principles. That is building an iron identity. Can you feel the difference? Second technique, establish non-negotiable boundaries. Pay attention because this is pure gold. Every man who suffers over a woman has one thing in common. He doesn't know how to say no. You accept any behavior, any disrespect, any humiliation just to keep her close. Boundaries are not walls to push people away. Boundaries are filters that allow only the best into your life. When you don't have clear boundaries, you become an empty lot where anyone can dump emotional trash. Define right now 3 behaviors you will no longer tolerate. It could be lack of reciprocity, it could be public disrespect, it could be emotional manipulation. No matter what they are, what matters is that you define them and communicate them. And here's the most important part. When someone crosses those boundaries, you need to act. Don't threaten, don't beg, don't negotiate, simply act. Withdraw your presence, your attention, your energy. This is masculine power in its purest form. A real woman will respect your boundaries. A toxic woman will try to break them. And then you'll know who you're dealing with. It's that simple. Does that make sense to you? Third technique, master your emotional radar. Your body has an internal alarm system that sends out signals all the time. The problem is you turned off that radar a long time ago. You ignore the warnings, suppress the alerts. Pretend everything is fine when inside you're falling apart. From now on, you will learn to read your body's signals. When your chest tightens, when your breathing quickens, when your hands sweat. These are warnings from your nervous system saying, something is wrong here. Studies show that men who develop emotional awareness suffer 70% less in relationships. Why? Because they detect problems before they become catastrophes. They feel the storm coming and prepare themselves. Every time you feel that anxiety rising, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? Am I reacting to a real danger or a ghost from the past? This is masculine emotional intelligence. It's not about being overly sensitive. It's about being strategic with your emotions. It's about using your internal radar to navigate the minefields of modern relationships. Are you following along? 4th technique. Apply the 70-20-10 rule of masculine energy. Listen to this carefully because few men apply this formula. 70% of your energy should go to yourself, your projects, your health, your growth. 20% goes to your important connections, family, true friends, mentors. Only 10% goes to romantic relationships. You are doing the opposite now. You are giving 90% of your energy to her and are left with crumbs for yourself. That's why you are exhausted. That's why you are empty. That's why you are suffering. When you reverse this equation, something magical happens. You become magnetic. You become the prize, not the beggar. Women sense when a man has his energy centered on himself. It's irresistible. Think of it as an emotional bank account. You are making constant withdrawals without ever depositing anything. Soon, you will go emotionally bankrupt. And then, my friend, recovery is painful and prolonged. The 70-20-10 rule keeps you always in the black, always with reserves, always with the power of choice. You will never again be emotionally broken because someone decided to leave. Can you visualize this change? 5th technique. Develop conscious detachment. Now I'm going to teach you the most powerful and also the most difficult secret. Detachment is not about not caring about anything. Detachment is about loving without needing to possess. It's desiring without depending. It's connecting without merging. You suffer because you get attached. You get attached because you're afraid to lose. You're afraid to lose because you think you won't find anything better. It's a mental prison you built yourself. Conscious detachment works like this. You appreciate the present moment without creating expectations about the future. You enjoy her company today without fantasizing about marriage tomorrow. You live the experience without trying to control it. You know that feeling of squeezing sand in your hand? The more you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Relationships work the same way. The more you try to control, the more you lose control. Practice detachment every day. When that urge to text comes, wait. When that need for confirmation comes, breathe. When that impulse to demand comes, reflect. Over time, you develop an inner tranquility that nothing and no one can shake. You become like water, fluid, adaptable, impossible to break. Does this make sense to you? Now, let me tell you something you might be thinking. You must be asking yourself, but if I shield myself like this, won't I become cold and incapable of truly loving? That is the biggest lie weak men tell themselves to justify continuing to suffer. Emotional armor is not about closing yourself off. It's about strengthening yourself. Think of an MMA fighter. He trains, strengthens his body, learns to defend himself. That doesn't mean he walks around throwing punches. It means that if someone tries to attack him, he knows how to protect himself. You will love even more intensely when you are armored. Do you know why? Because you will love by choice, not by need. You will love from abundance, not from scarcity. You will love like a king who chooses to share his kingdom, not like a beggar who pleads for alms. The difference is brutal. When you love from the right place, with your emotional armor activated, you attract quality women. Women who respect your strength, women who admire your stability, women who desire your solid presence. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. The modern world has created a generation of emotionally fragile men. Men who cry over an unread message. Men who have a crisis over an unliked story. Men who lose sleep over an ambiguous text. You don't have to be one of them. You can choose to be different. You can choose to be unshakable. But that choice needs to be made now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Every day you postpone this transformation is another day of unnecessary suffering. It's another sleepless night. It's another anxiety attack. It's another lost opportunity to be the man you were born to be. Remember what I said at the beginning. Your heart is a fortress. But an abandoned fortress turns into ruins. A fortress without maintenance crumbles. A fortress without guards is invaded. You are the architect, the builder, and the guardian of your emotional fortress. No one else can do it for you. No coach, no book, no video. Only you. I've given you the tools. The knowledge is in your hand. The map is drawn. Now it's up to you. Will you continue to be the guy who suffers over any woman who comes along? Or will you become the unshakable man who chooses with whom to share his greatness? The pain you feel now is real. I know, I understand. But that pain doesn't have to be permanent. It can be the fuel for your transformation. It can be the turning point in your story. How many men do you know who master these techniques? Probably none. This puts you in a privileged position. You have access to knowledge that is ultra rare. Knowledge that can change not only your relationships, but your entire life. Because when you build your emotional armor, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your gaze changes. You walk differently. You talk differently. You exist differently. People will notice. They'll ask what happened to you. They'll want to know your secret. And you'll smile, because you'll know you've achieved something no money can buy. Emotional freedom. Now I'm going to be direct with you. If this content made sense, if something here resonated with your situation, you need to act. Like this video now before you forget. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon. Not for me, for you. Because every piece of content you consume about masculine empowerment is another brick in your fortress. Every video is another weapon in your arsenal. Every technique is another layer in your armor. You deserve to live without the burden of emotional suffering. You deserve healthy relationships. You deserve inner peace. You deserve to be unshakable. The final question is simple. Will you continue to let your heart be a battlefield, or will you transform it into the impenetrable fortress it was meant to be? The choice has always been yours. The power has always been in your hands. Emotional armor is not a destination. It is a decision. And that decision needs to be made now. Because out there, at this very moment, there is a world full of people ready to test your limits, ready to invade your emotional space, ready to drain your vital energy. But there is also a world full of opportunities for emotionally armored men. Opportunities for authentic connections, for balanced relationships, for true love. You just need to be prepared. You just need to be armored. You just need to be unshakable. And now you know how. Now you have the map. Now you have the tools. Use them, apply them, live them. Your emotional fortress is waiting to be built, brick by brick, day by day, choice by choice. Start today. Start now. Start with the decision to never again suffer over a woman. Because you are worth more than that. You deserve more than that. You are more than that. Be unshakable. Be armored. Be free. That's what I had for you today. Now it's up to you.